A lot of people still don't seem to understand what's going on with XRP, even though it's been taking over all along. Perhaps many of them are new, I don't know. It's a bit strange that many people don't seem to know how well XRP has been doing in the past couple of months. That's what I want to talk about in this video, along with how big XRP is quietly becoming in this space. And you really get this if you stay away from all the shopping noise. That being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. If you're new to the channel, I hope you'll subscribe by the end of this movie. We did get a big message from XRP Ledger Japan not long ago. Really, this is with DSRV, and we have the translation post right here. This means we have news. DSRV from South Korea and XRP Ledger Japan have joined forces. We want to connect the XRP Ledger communities of Japan and Korea by working with DSRV, which is the biggest Web3 infrastructure company in Korea. This is great news, especially since Japan has been a big market for XRP. SBI has been killing it for years now, so I don't think I need to say anything about them. Their person has always been a big fan of XRP and everything Ripple. Of course, there's also the Korean market. It turns out that many of you don't know this, but the market for XRP and Ripple in Korea has also been very big. Ripple has been taking over those areas for a while, and if you want to talk about all of Asia, you should know that Ripple has been growing in those areas for a long time. I remember that Ripple was making a lot of noise in those markets in 2020 and 2021. It's still very clear today that Ripple and XRP have a lot of power in those markets. On the recent big rise in the price of XRP, you may know that it took over the Korean cryptocurrency markets in a big way and was the top player in terms of volume, even beating out Bitcoin. That's pretty big, and it shows how optimistic people are about XRP and what Ripple is doing. But besides that, let's talk more about Japan, SBI. Let's talk about Subjective Views posted this movie on April 21, and so have we. SBI has marketed itself as a Web3 conglomerate with 50 million customers. At the moment, they have a crypto fund, an NFT platform, a security token platform, a crypto trading company, and a market maker that makes sure all of these things can connect with each other. It's interesting that they are spreading their money around by investing in things other than Japan, almost 50 to 60% of the time. Not at all. When he talks about XRP, it sounds like he means depot, but he really means Ripple. In charge of running SBI Holdings is this person. Look it over. Let's talk about SBI Holding for a while. You made it clear that SBI Holding is a kind of company. I'll just talk about fintech and digital assets for now. You have a number of, if I may use the term, categories or investments, okay? What does SBI Holding do to make it all work? How does it all fit together? Yes. SBI has a crypto trading company, an NFT platform, a security token platform, a crypto fund, and market meta as part of its crypto Web3 business. Yes, we will also try to link the Web3 market to the banking market. One of the biggest security firms in Japan is SBI Security. SBI Group has more than 15 million customers. These customers can link to crypto markets. In what way do these businesses work together? Do any of them work together, or do they all do their own thing? They do work on their own, yes, but connect each company like I did, so they can talk to each other, right? As then, how are you guys building world corridors? How about what you do on a world level? So that's one part of the story in Japan. What are you guys doing to go beyond? This is the first time that SBI Group has invested outside of Japan. Before, they only did so in Japan. And in the case of the Web3 market, B2C2 is one of the biggest crypto market makers. And SBI Group is one of the important companies that B2C2 is based on. Also, we own a lot of outside stock in XRP and Depot, and we hold CCR in Depot. I know it's a little hard to understand him, but when we talk about SBI, XRP, and even Ripple, you know that this is one of the biggest Japanese companies. Well, I believe that Ripple and the people who make the coin need to be regulated more clearly, and Ripple's asked for that. Ripple's is a company with very professional people working hard on this, which is why we picked XRP. We believe in XRP. We're not predicting its price, but we do think it will be the most useful coin out there. For example, Bitcoin is a way to save money. Even though I agree with Mike McGlone, I think that XRP does have a real use case. The Ripple team is very professional. They act like investment bankers. They know what they're doing, and they will see a difference. We will see traditional Fi slowly take over with DeFi, and DeFi will take over for a longer time than people think. I know it will be a lot, but Ripple can do 3 to 5C. I want to know more about the specifics you stated, because I think watching would have, I need to quickly pause, because he just said that Ripple is working on making everything tokenized. The XRP record has pretty much everything. Big companies like Us.Thankx, which works with Ripple, have told us that they want to see $30 to $50 trillion on the XRP system. This is very interesting. They now say that it will happen by the end of 2026. They might not happen by 2026, but I think it's possible that ideals like those could show up. Getting hit on the XRP record over time. We don't know how fast this will happen, though. We're not sure how fast it might happen. We're sure that when the flood hits space, it will be like an earthquake. It's going to grow very quickly, very soon. You have to listen to the CEOs who are telling us that these big changes are happening and that they're becoming real. They are talking about how disruptive and useful this technology is, since it tells us that these CEOs of big companies are interested in Ripple and XRP for certain reasons. But look at this. People have different ideas about Ripple and some of the other tokens that are out there. What is XRP really used for today? So XRP, that's not at all the case. It's out there dealing, so you can guess what will happen with it. XRP, on the other hand, they started Ripple, I'm not going to speak for them, to make it easier for people to send and receive money. But now it's helping to tokenize everything. As they work on building out level 2, they are going to tokenize everything. They may have told you that they just bought a broker-dealer clearing member. I believe that is the first step toward combining standard banking with DeFi. I can already tell this is going to be a big step forward, but it will take longer than most people think. Appear. Okay, but the most important thing we're really interested in is the focus on utility, like how XRP has the most utility in the space. This is coming from well-known CEOs, not some random XRP creator. This is a CEO talking about the utility, the efficiency behind XRP and what Ripple has created here. When we talk about the future of this area, we should know that XRP is becoming more and more useful. The people who made the XRP system, right? It's clear that Ripple XDev has been killing it. Through many of their projects and changes, they've been making the XRP system more useful. Even now, XRP has done better than Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and Solana. I could read the list. We could add to this or take Solana out of it. One thing we could add is Dogecoin. We've done better than Dogecoin. That could be taken away. And Cardano can be added. We did better than Cardano. In the past year, XRP has done better than all 10 of the top assets. A lot of people forget that we were dealing at 40 cents back in July, which I think is crazy, and the most we were getting was about 66 cents during this whole time, from about July to October to the beginning of November. It was the worst time for bears at this point. Don't worry about XRP, it's this coin, that coin, or something else. We are still up from those lows right now, 477%. This move was over 786% altogether. It's not clear to me why folks don't see how big XRP is getting. The XRP is no longer a small name in the space. CEOs and big banks alike now know XRP. It's reissued by government-run companies like SBI. XRP is taking over. Of course, it's not advertising or some other kind of hype story. No, XRP has been in charge of this whole cycle. It was also in charge before this cycle. During this whole time period, so this is the 2022 crash, during this whole time, when we were just moving sideways, Ripple was growing very quickly, and I would say that things really started